Welcome, everyone. My name is Elise Bortolato with the Emerging Enterprise Center, a nonprofit business incubator, part of the Newcastle County Chamber of Commerce. We're very excited to be sharing this month's startup story. We know that every brand has a story, and today we're going to be talking to Yemina Israel, the founder of Addi Naturals.
You got it.
After about her early beginnings. And what brought her into the natural personal beauty product industry. So with that, I'm actually I'm hoping that you can kind of share a little bit about your company for those who may not have heard you before. You before.
Yes. So thank you for having me, Elise. I do appreciate it. It's always great to tell my story. So Addi Naturals, like you said, is a personal care product company. We make products for hair, skin, and body grown from seed using traditional farming methods and hydroponics in a nutshell. So
Wonderful.
Everything is like truly crafted and grown from seed.
Yeah, and how we were introduced is you were one of our semifinalists for our annual Swim with the Sharks pitch competition. And I just personally love your brand. I love this. I think the natural beauty product, a little bit more of that natural beauty product industry, I think it's not only a growing industry, but it's something I personally am excited about. So I was really excited to share your story today. And so I'd like to actually learn a little bit more about the person behind the brand.
Yeah.
And not just about your company. So I would love to know, so where did you grow up?
Great question. So it's funny you should mention that. A lot of people say that to me. They're like, your brand looks great, but like, who are you? Because I always kind of hide behind my brand, always busy doing stuff. So never really liked being in front of the camera. So this is good. Coming out of my shell. So I actually was raised in Gießen, Germany. So
wow.
Totally didn't probably expect that, but I come from a military family and moved around quite a bit before actually settling in Delaware.
So did any of, this is why I love this question so much, is a lot of where we grow up, our upbringing, dictates our life. And is there anything through that experience of moving and living in different areas that inspired this or got you excited about this industry and creating these products?
Yeah, twofold. So traveling around the world, you see different ways indigenous people kind of take care of themselves. And sometimes it's starkly different from what we do here in the States. Natural or alternative medicine is welcomed, encouraged, and usually the first kind of option if something is wrong, or just regular maintenance of oneself before like pills or like chemically driven products that we just freely have available today. So just seeing that there's always an alternative. There's always something that you can use in place of this that will probably work. You usually hear lots of old people talking about the different things they use and herbs, and just grab that baby over there. You put a little bit of this in here and that, and it'll get rid of that. Like, you hear that a lot, and you think like that stuff doesn't work. But when you really try it and it starts working, you're like, oh my gosh, this stuff actually works. And then having the understanding of the science behind it, a lot of the medicines that we use are derived from plants. So it's not so far-fetched that plants will actually do the same thing medicinally that a Tylenol will do, Mucinex and things of that sort. So I just resort back to the ways that people did things before the advent of commercially available chemicals. And that's why I said it's twofold, because I actually have a blood disorder. And the blood disorder is so rare that a lot of doctors can't really put a name on it. But being exposed to toxic chemicals aggravates it. So when I went out into the marketplace to find the things that I needed that I could afford, let me put that part on there, I couldn't find it. So my grandparents, especially my grandfather, I hope he's watching, is a very instrumental part of my life of growing things. So I just took those experiences I've had with traveling with family and the research and things that I've learned over time and combined it. And here we are.
And was there anything in you, like, you know, for those who are interested, because I feel like this is I'm hoping this is a continued trend that we start to go a little bit more toward natural personal care products. For those that are interested in maybe starting their own brand, because I think you really do from start to finish. You go from growing to putting together the product to selling the product. So is there anything that you would recommend those who are interested in where you kind of started your journey in terms of your education to help those who are maybe interested in wanting to create their own beauty products?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think a lot of times when I'm having conversations, I tell people, look, I'm completely transparent. This is exactly how I do this. So you can do it too, because the more of us that kind of encourage healthy lifestyles, demand it from the businesses that we patronize, we can start to really cultivate and change the society that we live in. Because where we spend our money makes the most impact. So if we stop spending money at places because they don't welcome anything healthy internally and externally, they'll change. They'll say, okay, hold on, I got to switch things up here. An easy place to start is right in your backyard and front yard. I tell you, if you are my friend and you have grass, I probably have seeds in it. I'm probably using it. Any friends and family, any backyards, front yards, side yards, hydroponics is really like growing now, and it used to be really expensive to get into. IKEA has little grow kits. You can buy some from Garden Tech right online. Maybe not even $100 to start growing things yourself in your house using lights. But like I said, any little plot of land, take it. Throw some seeds in there. You'll be amazed how much plants don't really need us to thrive. It's a misnomer. You'll hear people say, I have a black thumb, I can't grow anything. Blah blah blah. I'm like, no, like plants really don't need us that much. They actually like when you don't touch them all that much. So just put them in somewhere good, give them some good soil. And you can do that with composting, which also helps the environment. That's a whole nother conversation. But still, you can create things that have a very rich, nutrient dense environment for the plants, and just let them be. They'll do their thing.
And so this goes back to another point you just made about finding the land, finding where you can kind of start small if you want to go to IKEA and create, get a hydroponic system. How did you start financing your business? Where did you start as an entrepreneur in financing your business, and where are you today? Like what have you learned in that financial part of the business?
Yeah, that's a great question. I actually chose to work. So I have a background in business. I graduated from the University of Delaware. And so what I chose to do was work a job, and I took every little penny I earned and I threw it into my business, because in my mind I said, I don't even know if this is going to work. I don't know if people are going to buy anything from me. And because of my blood disorder, I said, well, no matter what, I have to make these products because I'm a customer of my business. So no matter what, I have to do this. But on the scale of, thousands of orders, it may not grow that far. So I'll just take all my own money and put it back in. And as the business continued to grow, I just continued to use the savings that I have until I got to a point where I needed to get additional financing to really, really expand. But I encourage people, like, don't always be so quick to quit your job. You can pursue your dreams and still have a job. It may be harder. You're going to have some late nights and early days, but that's okay because you're trying to pursue your passions, and that takes hard work. So I just chose to not start out in debt. Not discouraging anyone if they have the opportunity to take on a loan to start up, but I just wanted to make sure I had a viable business that people actually wanted to buy my products before I took in any additional financing.
And because I kind of know your business a little bit, and I think that when people are starting a brand, you are actually creating a brand that is a personal care. People are putting it on their skin, they're putting it in their hair. What is it that you did to start not only creating brand awareness, but brand trust with your customers, current and future?
Yeah. So actually, I have to thank my existing customers for that. Word of mouth is amazing. If you make a product and it actually does what you say it's going to do, you'll be surprised how far that will get you. So I just tried to be true to my brand, not cut corners to get profits, not sacrifice the quality of my ingredients. As it started to grow, it got really scary and overwhelming sometimes. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I have, 50 orders here and I need to fill them like today. And I have, this much shea butter, these many nuts, these many seeds. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, so you'll have sometimes you'll be in a situation like, well, if I just did this, I could make this much more. But now it's not the quality that you started out with. Being consistent in the quality of my products. And I listen to my customers. That's a lot of what I'm doing is very personal, right? It's a personal care product, but it's still like people are coming to me with issues. They have eczema, they have psoriasis, they have spider veins, they have thinning hair, graying hair, baldness, um, things that are really like directly linked to their self-esteem and confidence. So they share that with me and I listen. I say, okay, like, so like how much you're in the sun? Are you using SPF? Like how much water are you drinking? Like I'm all in their business, but how are you eating? Are you sleeping well? Like it becomes like a whole holistic brand, which I really, really love that I can engage with my clients when they choose to share that information with me. So I just make sure I stay true to how I started. They know this product will do what she says it's going to do if I use it the way she says to use it, and just be consistent.
Is there anything you feel keeps you up at night as an entrepreneur? You kind of were saying that there is a lot of anxiety. There is a lot of anxiety in growth. It's exciting, but there's also a lot more to manage.
Yes.
So is there anything that you feel keeps you up at night, and how have you dealt with those kind of fears?
Yeah. So there's 1,000 things that keep me up at night. I'm glad I have a husband and a cat to help calm me, but I do have 1,000 things that keep me up at night. Like as an entrepreneur, you're gonna wear many hats, right? So there's gonna be issues that arise continually. My faith keeps me grounded, and yes, sometimes I get scared. So I decided one day, hey, you're scared, you're just gonna have to do it scared because you're not giving up. This is your life. This is genuinely your life, and if it's important to you, if you put your passion, your heart into it, you'll figure it out. Focus on the solution versus the problem. So that's what I do.
I feel like there's a lot of entrepreneurs that say going scared. I don't know if you know. The Noonday Collection. Her name's Jessica. The last name's, but she had the book Imperfect Courage, and a lot of it's about her podcast is Going Scared. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs have that fear, but you have to really continue through it. And I think it's good to be honest instead of. I think sometimes that honesty allows you to feel like it's okay to be imperfect and have courage. Yeah. You kind of talked about this multiple hats piece in your business. Are you the sole employee, or have you hired, or do you hire out for certain things?
So I am the sole owner, but I do hire out in like major growth seasons. The business has taken kind of a seasonal approach after COVID. Historically, we did see much more sales. Like people care a lot more about their skin when they're showing more of it in the summer, and then we get really dry and want to keep moisturized in the winter. So I do see influxes there when I'll bring people on just to help with the planting and harvesting. So it's like really backbreaking. And I have to continually pay my pop-up in food because I'm always bringing him out to like help me with, is the plant ready? Like, because sometimes I'll take it at a certain stage because I need to fill an order. I need to make some essential oil. I need to put that in the stylist. And he's like, nope, got to give it a little bit more time. So I like bringing people in for harvesting primarily, digging in the dirt, putting the seeds in, coming back. That is a process. Those soil bags, that is a process. So shifting out the plants is really fun. It smells great too, and people get products. So they're usually very happy to do it. But yes, I bring people on at that time, but I am still the sole owner.
And are you planning for like your hire in your company? Are you kind of looking forward with what that would look like? How are you planning for what your growth could look like?
Yeah, great question. I actually am. You'll see some maps behind me. I am looking for a storefront. And because we're almost at that stage where we need like more of a production area and a storefront to service customers. So I'm really excited about that growth. It'll definitely be people in there. I cannot do all that by myself. So yeah, and what I'm trying to think about is how big I want the business to grow and what time frame. Because I do welcome growth, but it's very important to me to stay true to the way I make the products. We make things in small batches. We use real plants that we grow, so it takes time. We do use hydroponics to help grow things faster, but it's still a process to grow. Some products that I make that are more medicinally driven, I grow them in a wild versus hydroponics, because the plants produce different enzymes when they're grown in a wild versus perfect conditions that we set for them. And the hydroponic tanks, those take time. So the main thing about this business and my brand is we are really real. If I tell you this is coconut milk in here, it's really coconut milk. It's not some weird chemical version of coconut milk or olive oil or vanilla. Even we're trying to put our hand into that with partners in Mexico. And the point I'm making is I'm not going to change the quality of the product because we get more orders. We'll just try to get bigger, have more plants, get more seeds. But it takes time, and the client base that Addi has developed and hopefully will continue to develop demands that quality and understands that this is not a microwave company at all.
Well, so I feel like I want to be very, I find that talking about personal care products, there's a lot of things that for those who are interested in maybe becoming an entrepreneur in this area that you're talking about. One, I'd really love to talk about your partnerships and where you're looking, because I do think that's an important piece. And the second is I do like to talk about your retail space and what kind of pieces you're learning from that.
Mm-hmm.
And then two, I want to talk a little bit, or three, I want to talk a little bit about once you do get that storefront, are there any, as a personal care product, are there learning lessons you've had with regulations? So those are the three things. So first, partnerships. Where are you finding partnerships?
So I am a part of the Small Farmers Development Program out of University of Delaware. So we do partnerships between pretty much Virginia, Maryland, and Delaware, and Pennsylvania at times, but more so in that direction. So there's some organic farmers that I partner with. We also have some partners in Mexico with the vanilla I was mentioning, and roses. I use a lot of roses. Roses take time. They're a little finicky, to say the least, and I need them in abundance. So usually what I'm doing is trying to partner with organic growers that have the same type of mission and standards and quality that I'm setting for the business to help me in this growth stage, because it's been phenomenal. But I'm not able to handle it all on my own at the stages that I'm at now, which brings me into the retail space. That is my shift of trying to grow the business and offset some of the farming that I have personally done myself. Because I can't do it all. That's all those hats. I started out in the dirt, but I end up being in the dirt. Hopefully I'll be with my bees. But the point I'm making is I have to outsource, right? So, but I cannot outsource to any old person. So it's like personal visits to these farms I'm making and relationships I'm building to make sure it is what is portrayed. The regulations are astronomical, right? So we're putting things on skin, and I'm working on vitamins and a smoothie line. So now we're ingesting. So there's a whole separate set of permits and regulations that I have to abide by, but I welcome that. So whatever I need to do to get it done, I'll get it done. That's just, you're scared, do it scared, right? Oh my gosh, this is overwhelming. Okay, how do you eat an elephant? One piece at a time, right? So it doesn't matter. It's just what has to happen, but it's exciting. It's very exciting to just see how things are moving, and I'm just trying to make the best decisions that I can as the growth continues to happen.
Well, I have to be honest. I love your transparency. I love that you take such care for where things come from, showing your customers where they come from, and I love that you're a local brand here. Is there any did you receive, what is like your best piece of advice that you've received, or the advice that you would give out to those who are interested in going into your industry?
I would say, yes, my industry, but business in general. Your legacy can't inherit a job. So I don't do this just for me. I'm a custom rep business, but there's a lot of other people that have issues, right? Or just want real ingredients, effective products. So whatever you do, just do it with passion, and just remember that it's a reflection of you. So the business is not called Yemina's Natural Products because it's supposed to grow outside of me. It's supposed to extend beyond me. It's not about me. The business has its own identity. Some days I eat like, hot fudge sundaes. I'm pretty sure there's chemicals in there, right? Like, not everything I do is 100%, but the business is. So I just remind people, your legacy cannot inherit a job. You have got to do this. So just do it with all your heart.
I love that. And one, thank you for sharing your story today and being so transparent and open.
Pleasure.
And hopefully helping those who are interested in going into personal care products take the leap. Go scared.
Exactly.
And I was wondering if those are interested in purchasing your products or learning more about you personally, where would they go for that?
I am local in Wilmington, Delaware. But we have a website, addinaturals.com. We have all of social media, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, all that jazz. Everything is under Addi Naturals. Our email is contact@Addi Naturals. It's very plain, very plain. So you'll find me. If you go on the website, all the contact information is there. I try to be consistent with posting on social media. I do my best. Sometimes it's not daily, but
we all do our best.
Yes.
I actually threw in the comment section your website for those who are interested in learning more about you, purchasing your product, trying them. I know that you're very open to talking to your customers. So if there is someone watching who is interested in learning more about their specific needs, make sure you reach out. And I can't tell you how excited we are to see you grow. And I would love it when your retail store comes. I'll be the first one to be walking in that door.
Thank you. I'm hoping we get there. It's a journey, but it's worth it.
That's all you can ask for. So thank you so much for joining us today, sharing your story. Everyone, make sure to go to our website, check out our products, follow her on social media, and support this local business owner.
Yes.
So, thank you.
Take care.